Hi, I'm Kev, an OET teacher whose sole purpose in life is to help you get a grade B pass or higher in OET. So this particular video is especially for nurses. There's a few things about it, some interesting problems, which I think you'll get quite a lot out of. So get your pen and paper ready, let's dive in and let's see what it's all about. Hello, it's Kevin here. Welcome to my channel. Time for another video, another letter for OET. It's been a couple of weeks now, but that's because nobody's been sending me any letters. So if you want me to make some comments, links below, feel free to contact me there. Send me something and I can make a video. So first things first, disclaimer, fair use, the usual, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, I haven't seen this particular set of notes before, so this will be interesting. I think it's one of the official books. I'm not quite sure which, but anyway, as I said, fair use, so don't be complaining. So, as always, let's go to the task. What are we doing? What are we doing? Let's get my pen out. So, now it's a referral, but, so right, we've got a couple of different things here. Now, this is interesting. It'll be interesting to find out what book this is from, because look, we've got 3 verbs here. So, which one do we use? Well, so it says write a letter of referral to the occupational therapist, outlining your concerns, requesting workplace assessment, and summarising your suggestions. That's interesting. Well, I say I haven't seen this one before. Let's take a look. So, you're writing to occupational therapist, yeah? So, they're not a doctor, right? So, you don't need to tell them all this medical-y stuff about dosages and medicines and all that stuff, right? They don't need it. They're an occupational therapist. They, you know, manipulate and show you how to sit and how to stand and how to lift things, etc. Right? So we don't need anything else. So we've got some past medical history. So let's just take a look. So back pain, right? So. Right, 8 hours a day on computer, home office. I think that's a back condition. I think osteopenia. Not sure. Don't need that. Disc herniation. Okay, so that might be interesting. What's this here? Appointment with family doctor. Yeah, so you're the nurse. So we came to see the doctor, presumably. Is it in the same place, family medical practice? Okay, perhaps it's a nurse working for this particular doctor. So 2 to 3 weeks, lower back pain, poor posture. I know how he feels. Oh dear, I'm a bit bloody stiff because I'm doing the same. But I don't have these kind of issues though. Grade 2 muscle sprain, aggravated by prolonged sitting. Yeah. Well, yes. I can empathise with that one. So ibuprofen, no sitting at the desk, planned breaks, physiotherapy, workplace assessment. So workplace assessment though, he works at home, so it's a home visit essentially, yeah? What's it say in the task? So workplace assessment, it's a home visit, essentially, yeah, because he works at home. So it's a workplace assessment of the home. Okay. Nurse to arrange for occupational therapist, patient request workplace assessment, appointment with practice nurse, subjective, physio, forgets about breaks, discussion with patient. This is a complicated one, this one. Pretty complicated. I guess again, I'll have to find out where these notes came from. This is pretty complex. This is a lot more complex than most of the case notes, which I have seen, which I see. I'm having a bit of trouble working out what we're supposed to be doing here. So you're writing to the occupational therapist, the OET. So we're outlining the concerns, what we're concerned about. Specifically requesting workplace assessment. So you want the therapist to go to this guy's house and a summary of your suggestions, etc. So this is well, we'll take a look and we'll see what our learner has come up with. See how they address this one. This is an interesting one, I have to say. Whoa. I haven't seen anything like this before, as I said. Okay, let's take a peep. Okay, let's get this up. Come here. Now, I'll put some changes on. All right. Now, how many words we got? What's the word count? 200. Excellent. Now, so let's begin with first of our criteria, the purpose. For Mr. Brown for a follow-up. But it's not a follow-up, is it, really? Because a follow-up is when somebody comes to see you following or after something else. But specifically, you're requesting a visit, workplace assessment. So I will put that in the purpose. All right, so what do we have here? So you could say like, dear, Dear Mr. Who is this occupational therapist? Mr. Saunders. Dear Mr. Saunders. How could we phrase this? Dear Mr. Saunders, I'm writing to. Oh dear. So. Right, so ultimate writing guide, right? It keeps on explaining and in their blog and videos how important it is to use the correct verb in your purpose. But we've got kind of three: outlining, requesting, and summarising. So which verb are we going to use? Well, I would request, because that's the first thing, workplace assessment. So I'm the reader. I want to know, what do you want me to do? You want me to go around this guy's house, his place of work, check things out, check his advice, advise him on the correct sitting position, and so on and so forth. So give him some suggestions. Get a proper chair, get wrist rests, get some foot rests, get all that stuff. Okay. So I'd probably say something like, Dear Mr. Saunders, I'm writing to request a workplace assessment of Mr. Saunders, a 43-year-old graphic designer. So because you're writing to an occupational therapist, makes sense to put name, age, and occupation. Yeah? And that also will give them some clue as to what the problem is. So I would do something such as that. I would say something like, Dear Mr. Saunders, I'm writing to request a visit to assess the working that sounds good. To assess the working conditions. So I will probably say something like, Dear Mr. Saunders, I'm writing to request a home visit to check the working conditions of Mr. Saunders, a 43-year-old graphic designer, as I am concerned about his What am I concerned about? As I'm concerned about his back issues arising from a sedentary lifestyle, or his back issues arising from his working conditions, or something such as that, right? Something such as that. That's a bit long-winded, but something such as that would do the job. So let me just have a look. Right, I'm writing to. Let me type out this to request a home visit to assess the working conditions of Mr. Brown, 43, is it 43? A 43-year-old graphic designer, or might be spelling. Mr. Brown, graphic designer, grade 2 muscle spray. Conditions of Mr. Brown, the graphic designer. So, what did I just say? Right, to request several conditions of Mr. Brown, the graphic designer, as his workplace may be responsible for his symptoms of, or something such as that, right? You could do that. Something such as that. Or what else could we say? Again, because, right, the reason I'm spending so much time here is that OET specifically say that purpose, right? To get maximum points for purpose, you need to be as direct, immediately apparent, clear as possible, no wasting time. I'm not going to show you the criteria. I have done in all the previous videos, or in quite a lot of them. So as you've seen before, and if you haven't, go check the criteria, go download the Ultimate Writing Guide from OET.com. They specifically talk about how to personalize your introduction, not the same standard I'm writing to refer blah blah blah. There's a page and it says, to get better scores, you personalize it for your unique letter, etc. I think that's in the previous video or the video before that, so I would go and take a look at those. I'm not going to show you it again because I keep doing that in every video. So for the purpose, it's going to be clear. We've got to get all the key information in that purpose. Okay, so like I said, you could do something such as this, or I'm writing to request a workplace assessment, and then you tell them later that he works from kind of home. So you can do that. I'm writing to request a workplace assessment of Mr. Brown, photographic designer, whose working conditions have resulted in grade 2 strain, or etc. All right, so something such as that. Anyway, that's enough for the purpose. I say these notes are very convoluted. There's several ways that we could start this purpose off. I'm not going to go into all, but you can see we've got 3 different verbs. But I would put the workplace assessment first, right? Either mention, home kind of visit, or mention later on that because he works at home, you have to see him there. But I will put workplace assessment first, and then, in the rest of it, you're outlining your concerns and summarising. So I would put that, like I say, make that your purpose. Oops, no, that. Make that your purpose, and then in the rest of it, outline your concerns and give a summary of your suggestions. Okay, so let's have a look. Right, Mr. Brown visited, so he presented, right. So For our conciseness part, we can make this simpler. I'll just drag and drop this. There's Mr. Brown. Right. On 15th, 2020, Mr. Brown. I'm not going to type all this out and correct all the spelling and typos, etc. That's just to give you some ideas. So I put the date first, right? And obviously this would be more current in the exam. It would be 2025. So, Mr. Brown presented with lower back pain, my spasm and tenderness. Now you've got present perfect here, right? He has been diagnosed. So present perfect in passive, but we use present perfect when we don't know indefinite time, right? But so surely because it was on January and we're writing in so this is the 25th, right? So 50. Okay. So this is like 10 light days afterwards. Yeah, let me just check on that. That's again. So he came on the 15th, and when was he diagnosed? Diagnosis. So right. So we know when the diagnosis occurred. So the simple past, right? So he was at that time diagnosed with greater muscle strain, like that, no confidence, at home, his condition postulated anxiety and inadequate posture. Very good. Okay, that's good. So just put the date at the start of a sentence, and you can make it a bit shorter and make it simple past, passive, because we know when the diagnosis occurred. Okay. Mr. Brown successfully treated. It says that practice ibuprofen twice daily. Although the pain or his pain has been well managed for February, now you can use present perfect now because you're connecting past and present. So you can say he has not been or he has been non-compliant because you've got present perfect there. Yeah. So he has been non-compliant with his prescribed medication and postural advice. I always put, in view of the above, it would be greatly appreciated if Mr. Brown's workplace. He would require with support. He may also benefit from creating the project education and advisable breaks. Okay. So just a couple of minor changes there. Just a couple of minor things. The main thing is that purpose. Like I say, there's several possibilities. But I would put that home visit or because you say he works from home. Where does it say that? Yeah, there. Right, so I would just say workplace assessment. Okay, I will put that there. Writing to request a workplace assessment of Mr. Brown, because I can see that you've put it here that he works from home, so you don't need to include that in your well, you could do. It's not going to make any harm, but still. Workplace assessment. Is there anything else that we need to include? Because it says outlining your concerns. So concerns. So how do you do that? Well, what's the concern? I'm worried about, I'm concerned about, I feel that something may happen, he may worsen. That's a concern, so how do you outline your concerns? So I would put something here about the concern. So he's been non-compliant with his prescribed medicine and postural advice. So your concern is that it would worsen. So that's a concern. So you need to put in what you are concerned about. So what are we concerned about? Let's see what it says exactly. What are we concerned about? We're concerned he's not complying with his advice. Well, your advice. We're concerned he's not doing what you told him. So we're concerned he's not doing what he's been told. He's not taking his meds, and if he carries on doing that, his condition presumably will worsen. Yeah. So that's a concern, or our concerns. Yeah. So we need to mention those. Okay. So you could put it there. Pensions, you're not got this pension. That's nice. Which may lead to a worsening of his condition in the future, or which may lead to a worsening of his condition if he maintains his non-compliance or whatever. All right. So that would be outlining your concerns, because that is not a concern. You simply saying he's non-compliant, that's not you saying I'm concerned that something is going to happen. That's just a simple statement of fact, which is not in itself a concern. Okay, so you need to specifically say, I'm concerned that, or there's the possibility that his condition may worsen if, So that's the concern part. That's outlining the concerns. And what else have we got to do? Summarising your suggestions. A summarise. So how do you summarise? Now, in the speaking section, as you've probably done with your teachers or whoever, or if you're one of my students, with me, in the summary, say, so let's just be clear about what we've said, blah, 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 blah. Let me briefly summarise what we've discussed about so-and-so, so-and-so. So you need to specifically put some discourse marker or phrase which actually says this is a summary. Mr. Brown's workplace. So how can we phrase that to make it more clear? I appreciate it says Mr. Brown's workplace. Oh dear, what can we say about this then? Go back to his case notes. Summarising your suggestions. You said right. So he may also benefit. So this is a suggestion. In my view, in my opinion, my suggestions are, my recommendations are. Special workplace. My recommendations, because it says something about managing graded return to work, yeah? So, graded return to work, maybe we could work in that. My recommendations for his gradual return to work include that he would have include suitable seating and lumbar support, as well as correct sitting and posture, education. I would also appreciate if you could monitor his medication adherence and advisable breaks, or something such as that. Okay, so like I say, I'm not going to rewrite the whole thing, but I hope you get the kind of point here, right? So, shall I show you? I suppose I should, since I'm always talking about it. Every time I'm going to show you. So, getrisanoet.com. Let's have a look. Right. Purpose. To effectively give right care, high level. Right. Expand your opening with relevant information. Be right about unique patient. Now, if you take a look at this, we've got unique. They mention unique 4 times. Okay, so markedly different to others you have read or written yourself. So that's why I keep saying to get maximum points for purpose. That's what they say. That's not what I say. That's what they say. Unique. They use that word 4 times. Markedly different. We're talking about personalise. Where do I talk about? There were some examples here. Yeah. Also, as I said, using the right verbs. Writing to refer, but there's other verbs which are equally or more appropriate. So you're in this one here, you're specifically requesting, I want you to go see this guy. Okay, so I would use, request. Like it says, you can use refer, but as that criteria says, as we've just seen, unique, personalise, unique. So if you're doing it the same as everybody else, what do you expect? Clearly personalised to a patient's situation. So anyway, that's the purpose part. You can download this, you can read it later on, etc. Because I'm not going to go all the way through that. So that's not bad, not too bad. Just 1 or 2 things about the tenses. Maybe use a pronoun here. But like I said, because in these case notes we have these like 3 verbs, so they put them there for a purpose, right? So I would try and make use of all of those. My concerns for the patient are 1, 2, 3, 4. Please note my recommendations, suggestions for what's his name again, Mr. Brown, whoever, are so and so. So specifically outline my concerns are so and so. My recommendations are, etc. Okay, so I hope that gives you some ideas. This is a bit of a lengthy video for today, but I hope you'll get something out of it. Anyway, I'll see you next time. And to the author of this, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye for now. So I hope that gave you some ideas about what you should and shouldn't be doing and thinking about when you write your OET nursing letter. So if you have a letter you want me to take a look at, if it's your first time, or if you've tried OET before and you haven't quite got that B passing grade, wherever you're watching this, links below, you can contact me, get in touch, and we'll see if we can help you pass OET. Okay. See you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, etc. Watch more videos. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Bye for now.